Dhaka, Bangladesh, February 2016. Inside the Bangladesh Bank, the country's central bank, a printer hummed. It was supposed to print records of international transfers. These transfers happen all the time, moving money around the world. But on this day the printer stopped. It was out of paper. A bank worker fixed the problem, but the printer still wouldn't print. It was a frustrating annoyance, a minor technical glitch in a busy place. The bank workers thought little of it at first. They tried restarting the printer, they checked the connections, nothing worked. The printer remained stubbornly silent. It was a mystery, a minor inconvenience. What they didn't know was that this was the first clue to a massive crime, a cyber heist of unprecedented scale. This seemingly innocuous printer error was about to send shockwaves through the global financial system. As the day wore on, the bank workers grew more concerned. They investigated further, trying to find the root of the printer problem. What they discovered wasn't a simple paper jam or a broken cable. Instead, they stumbled upon something far more alarming: messages from the SWIFT system. SWIFT, which stands for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, is the backbone of international banking. It's a secure messaging system that banks use to authorize payments to each other. The SWIFT messages were error messages. They indicated that something was wrong with the bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, where Bangladesh Bank kept a significant portion of its foreign currency reserves. The messages were confusing, but one thing was clear: money was missing. A lot of money. As the bank workers dug deeper, their blood ran cold. The amount missing was staggering, nearly $1 billion. Someone had broken into the bank's system and tried to steal a fortune. How did the hackers get in? The answer lay in a seemingly harmless email sent weeks earlier to an unsuspecting bank employee. It was a phishing email, disguised to look like a legitimate message. The email contained a malicious attachment, a Trojan horse waiting to be unleashed. When the employee clicked on the attachment, they unwittingly opened the bank's doors to the hackers. The malware, a type of malicious software, was sophisticated. It infected the bank's computers, giving the hackers a foothold in the system. The hackers now had a way in, a digital backdoor into the heart of Bangladesh Bank. They had infiltrated one of the most secure institutions in the world, and they did it with a simple email. Once inside, the hackers didn't immediately go for the money. They lay low, moving like ghosts through the bank's systems. They watched and learned, studying the bank's operations, its routines, its security protocols. They were like patient burglars, casing the joint, waiting for the right moment to strike. For weeks, the hackers remained undetected, their presence hidden within the digital noise of the bank's daily operations. They were learning the language of the bank, understanding its rhythms. They were identifying weaknesses, exploiting vulnerabilities. They were preparing for the day when they would make their move. The hackers chose their moment carefully. It was the weekend before a long holiday weekend in the United States. Banks in Bangladesh were closed for the weekend, as were banks in the US. It was the perfect time to strike, a window of opportunity when oversight would be minimal and responses delayed. On Thursday, February 4th, the hackers made their move. They sent a barrage of fraudulent SWIFT messages, ordering the Federal Reserve Bank of New York to transfer money from Bangladesh Bank's account to accounts they controlled in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. The hackers were exploiting the time difference, knowing that it would be hours before anyone in Bangladesh noticed anything amiss. The money was routed through a complex web of accounts, all designed to obscure its origin and destination. The hackers used shell companies and fake identities, making it incredibly difficult to trace the money trail. They were laundering the stolen funds, cleaning them so they could be used without detection. The hackers were counting on the slow, bureaucratic nature of international finance. They knew that it could take days, even weeks, to unravel their scheme. By the time anyone realized what was happening, the money would be long gone, vanished into a labyrinth of offshore accounts and shadowy businesses. The hackers almost got away with it. Of the $951 million they attempted to steal, $81 million made it through. The money was quickly withdrawn from the accounts in the Philippines and disappeared into the murky world of underground casinos and money laundering rings. The remaining transfers were stopped thanks to a combination of luck and human error. Some of the transfer requests contained suspicious keywords, which raised red flags at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Additionally, the hackers misspelled the word foundation on one of the transfer requests, a seemingly minor error that proved to be their undoing. The $81 million that did get through was laundered through casinos in the Philippines, a country notorious for its lax anti-money laundering laws. The money was converted into chips, gambled, and then cashed out, effectively erasing its origins. The money trail went cold. Investigators were able to track some of the funds, but much of it vanished into the ether, likely ending up in the hands of criminal syndicates and corrupt officials. The heist exposed major vulnerabilities in the global financial system, highlighting the ease with which vast sums of money could be stolen and laundered. The Bangladesh Bank Heist remains one of the most audacious cyber crimes in history. The perpetrators were never caught, though suspicions fell on North Korea, a country known for its sophisticated hacking capabilities. The heist served as a wake-up call for banks and financial institutions around the world, exposing the vulnerabilities of the global financial system to cyberattacks. The heist forced banks to rethink their security protocols, invest in more robust cybersecurity measures, and improve international cooperation in tracking and recovering stolen funds. The Bangladesh Bank Heist was a watershed moment in the evolution of cybercrime, demonstrating the enormous sums of money at stake and the lengths to which criminals would go to get them.